awesome is that? To know that we are winning in this movement. That's a good feeling. We have Vice President Mike Pence on our side, and we're succeeding. All right, well, today we have our next speaker. We are excited to have him here. It's Tyson Langhofer, Senior Counsel and Director of Alliance Defending Freedom's Center for Academic Freedom. He has represented students all over the U.S. and even Ben Shapiro against unconstitutional policies. He is here today to share with you Tyson Langhofer.
Morning, morning, morning. How y'all doing? All right, man, it's awesome seeing all you out here. It really inspires me. It's why I got into the line of work that I did to support and protect the First Amendment freedoms of students like you every day that are out there that are bringing a much-needed pro-life message to their college campuses. So I'm an attorney with Alliance Defending Freedom, and if you're not aware of us, ADF is one of the nation's largest legal advocacy organizations. We're dedicated to defending the First Amendment freedoms of everyone in this country. And by God's grace, since 2011, we've won 9 victories at the Supreme Court, including 2 this last session. So I'm the director of the Center for Academic Freedom, and we call it CAF for short, so I might refer to it at that. But the Center for Academic Freedom, our goal, our mission is to protect students and faculty's First Amendment rights at public universities. Over the last 10 years, we've won more than 480 victories for free speech on campus, and we have an almost 90% success rate. We've represented students across the country, just like you, that are working to bring this culture of life to your campuses every day through your Students for Life group. In our work, we represent a lot of different students with a lot of different beliefs. But I really, really like it when we have the opportunity to represent Students for Life groups. And there's really 4 reasons for that. First of all, I'm personally passionate about the pro-life cause. I grew up in Wichita, Kansas in the 1980s, and I lived there till about 3.5 years ago. And in the 80s, when I was growing up, Kansas had one of the most liberal abortion laws in the country. You could obtain an abortion up through the 9th month of pregnancy. Dr. George Tiller was a late-term abortionist there. He pioneered many of the techniques, and women came in from all over the country and even the world to obtain abortions in Wichita. And as a result of this, my mom and dad were called to open a pregnancy resource center when I was young. And in fact, that center just celebrated its 30th anniversary a couple years ago. So my mom and dad instilled in me early on the value of every human life from conception until natural death, and the importance of providing resources to women faced with an unplanned pregnancy. I recall from a very young age my parents opening our house for pregnant women who needed a place to stay. So I love that I get the opportunity to support what you do every day to bring this message of hope to women on your campus. The second reason I love representing Students for Life groups is that protecting the sanctity of human life is part of ADF's core mission. At ADF, our mission is to protect and defend the sanctity of human life, is to protect and defend religious freedom, is to protect and defend the marriage and family values that we have here in this country, and finally is to protect freedom of speech. So when I'm representing a Students for Life group, I get to advance 2 of ADF's core missions. 1, to the sanctity of life, and 2, freedom of speech. The third reason I love representing Students for Life groups is you're not afraid to challenge your university's unconstitutional policies. In our work every day, we talk with many students with many different types of student groups. And most of these students have been treated wrongly by their universities because the university disagrees with their viewpoint. Even though the university has violated their First Amendment rights, which is one of the most sacred rights that they have, many students are afraid or just unwilling to challenge their university's actions. Now, I get it. I can definitely, it can be intimidating and a little bit scary taking on your college or university. They're huge and they hold all the power to grant your degree. And many students, they love their university and they don't want to sue them, and they never thought they'd have to do that. But at the same time, your First Amendment rights are definitely worth fighting for. And Students for Life groups recognize that, and they're not afraid to challenge their college or universities when their rights are violated. In fact, we've represented, over the last several years, successfully represented Students for Life groups at Queens College in New York, at Miami University of Ohio, at Fresno State University in California, at Ball State University in Indiana, and at Colorado State University. I hear you. And we currently have a lawsuit against Cal State University, San Marcos, on behalf of a Students for Life group there. Now, a couple of the students we have represented in those lawsuits are actually in attendance today, and they're going to share their story about suing their university in our breakout session later today. So if you want to meet Ellie Whitman and Bernadette Tazy and learn more about what it was like to be discriminated against and then sue their university, I would definitely encourage you to attend our breakout session at 245 in room 1211. I promise you won't be disappointed. Just a little teaser, in the breakout session, Travis Barham, one of the attorneys on our team, he's going to be leading the session, and he's going to tell you about how the First Amendment violation at Fresno State against Bernadette and her group was so egregious that we demanded that the professor involved be forced to undergo 2 hours of First Amendment training by Travis himself. And I've watched the video. He was not very happy, right? It's a great story. You don't want to miss it. But Travis also will give you a primer on your First Amendment rights, and he'll tell you how to recognize unconstitutional policies on your campus. Also, see this awesome shirt I'm wearing here? The answer is more speech. All right, we're giving those away at our booth, and we're going to be giving them, and if you go to our booth, you'll figure out how to get those if you attend our session. So who wants one of these t-shirts here? Yeah? All right, we'll go there. So, all right. The last reason I love representing Students for Life groups is you're not afraid to discuss controversial topics or stand up for views that may be unpopular on campus. Now, I know discussing abortion on today's college campus can be a little bit scary and intimidating for several reasons. First, as you all know firsthand, abortion can be a controversial topic. People become very emotional when discussing abortion. They can become very loud and angry when discussing abortion. And second, most people you encounter on a college campus, they're probably not going to agree with your pro-life beliefs. And not only will they disagree, but they'll likely be outright hostile to those beliefs. And the final reason it's a little bit scary is because this is the point I really want to focus on. There's a growing belief on college campuses that if someone is offended by your beliefs or viewpoints, then they shouldn't have to hear them, and they have the right to shut you down or stop you from saying it. Let's take a brief poll. How many of you have had your flyers torn down or an exhibit vandalized on your campus? Yeah, look around. That's a lot. That's a lot. And we may get a little bit, we may feel like this is a little commonplace or routine, but it should not be. This should not be routine or commonplace. It's amazing to think that America's college campuses, which are supposed to be the marketplace of ideas, the place where you go to obtain knowledge and search for truth, have become a place so hostile to opposing ideas that the students and even faculty routinely destroy and tear down other people's posters and displays simply because they disagree with their message being conveyed. Now, this is the problem that most concerns me about the future of America. There's an increasing support for the ideology that speech is violence. Now, you heard that right. There's a large number of highly intelligent, highly educated people that have bought into the lie that speech is violence. Now, I wrote an article recently for the Daily Wire about this. How many of you guys seen the movie Talladega Nights? All right. So, Ballad of Ricky Bobby, Will Ferrell movie. I'm not recommending it. It's, like most Will Ferrell movies, has some objectionable stuff, but it actually contains an important lesson. I know that's, you think, well, how can a Will Ferrell, it contain an important lesson. What was Ricky Bobby's life motto? Anybody remember? If you ain't first, you're last. Who said that? All right, you? All right, I'll get to me. Not enough. Sorry. Give that to that guy back there who said that. All right, so if you ain't first, you're last, right? Well, this is what Ricky led his life after this motto that was clearly false, right? If you ain't first, you're last. And it led to a lot of chaos and brokenness and failure in his life because of that. right? Well, the same thing could be said for our culture or society that builds itself on a lie, that embraces a lie. And that's why I'm so concerned that our culture is embracing this lie that speech is violence. It clearly is not. And the chaos and the violence we see on college campuses is because people believe that they have the right to shut down violently your speech if they disagree with it. And when students are taught that speech is violence, then students will believe that engaging in actual violence to prevent speech that they disagree with is justified because it's self-defense. Now, that's why I love that you're taking a controversial topic, but you're talking about it in ways that are empathetic, and that you're bringing real solutions to these individuals that are hurting, and you're bringing real truth. So I want to make sure that I want to encourage you today, do not shy away from speaking the truth. All right? Proverbs 12:17 says, when you tell the truth, justice is done, but lies lead to injustice. We can see this on the issue of abortion. Our society has bought the lie that the unborn is not human or is not worthy of protection, and this lie has resulted in one of the greatest injustices in human history. More than 60 million innocent babies have lost their lives. If that's not injustice, I don't know what is. But remember that the Bible also tells us to speak the truth in love, and that our battle is not against flesh and blood. The pro-choice people, they're not our enemies. All right, so speak the truth in love. And remember, as Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. So when you get in these topics, speak the truth with love. And finally, I want you to remember that ADF is here to help you. This is what we do. We love to help you get your message on campus. So if you're discriminated against or you have problems on campus, come to our booth. We'd love to talk to you. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for having me, and have a great day.